Jonathan Dudley here with you from GolfTEC Wendover. I'm just going to watch a little bit of Tiger's head action today. So I've got a few different lines set up here. We're going to talk about his head action, and then we're also going to talk about this right forearm position that we see here at the top of his golf swing and how he uses this angle. So we'll actually go right from the butt end of the club here into the bottom of his forearm. Alright, so we got 74-degree angle there. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we're going to go to address position here, and we're just going to draw a few different lines. So first line we're going to draw is his line here where we started off. And we'll go ahead and actually use a nice straight line here for us. So yellow is where we started. Now we bring it to the top of the swing. And see head lowers, and we'll see that with a lot of our better players here. And in fact, let's go to address position here one more time. So keep address yellow. I'm going to put this on the front bill of his hat. Alright, so we go to the top, and now we're going to watch the start of his downswing here where he gets this good compression. We'll make this one green for the start of the downswing action. We also see a little bit of movement from his head here from where that yellow line was. Now we'll see even more at this point in time. We'll make this one blue. So a little bit more action from here. Yeah, it's not a ton, but it is a little bit. Alright, and now we'll watch as he's coming into impact. And make another line here for his head. Okay, so for all those that say, hey, keep your head steady in the backswing, well, here's one of the best players in the world, and we're really seeing some different head action. So let's go ahead and focus our attention over here on the left side of the screen. So one thing that I really like to see with good amateur players is the ball position here closer to our left ear. I think that's really important as far as when we create a good angle at impact. But we're going to watch Tiger's head as he starts back. Now the camera's moving here just a little bit, but you can see, maybe there's a little bit of movement coming back here with his head. His new swing, you're going to see a lot less head movement there, but he's got a little bit of movement off the ball. Alright, and now we're going to watch as he comes into the golf ball. So you can see basically where he started was that blue line, and watch as his head moves into impact. Alright, so we're going to make this green. This is pretty much the outside of his head. So most of those best players in the world that we see, especially in Tiger's situation, his head coming into the golf ball actually, call that post, or almost counterweights his hands. So when we get to this point right here, that counterweight action is really helping him create a good trapping of the golf ball and real great full extension. So we take a line here coming through the impact position, and you can see that right arm in that shaft is long and straight. Some people say you go ahead and really recock the club. Well, not in this case, right? I mean, his arms are as long and as wide as they can be. I mean, there's just nothing holding that golf swing back. If he was to release that club and just let it go flying out of his hands, his club would probably fly out into the driving range out here somewhere. Nice and straight and long, just fully extending all that energy through the golf ball. Alright, so that's the head action that we see with Tiger. Now we're going to talk a little bit about compression. So when we get to the top of Tiger's swing, we're going to go ahead and look at his bend. So we'll use red for the top. Alright, so here's his bend. We'll go right outside that shoulder into his belt buckle here. So we got about 36. And now let's watch as he starts down here. So we know his head lowered, but look how much that bend changed in his body here. So if we go from the outside of his shoulder still and go back to the belt buckle, we're going to go to that same point. So we were at 36 and now we're at 28. So he's creating about 8 degrees of compression or bend right there, the way in which he's moving down into the golf ball. So you can see his knees really stay flexed. And the amazing thing about Tiger is he gets that bend, and then as he comes into the golf ball, you can see he really extends his body. So that's just a great tool of how to create speed and power in the golf swing. All right? One of the reasons why he creates so much of that power is because he gets that compression right there, and then as he's coming into the golf ball, you can see he's getting that extension through the golf ball there. So some pretty awesome characteristics of a dynamic golf swing there, filled with lots of power. The last thing we're going to talk about today is this right forearm action. So when we look at his forearm action here, from the top to his elbow, we see about 74 degrees. One thing that I really want to point out is that when we watch his angles, we're going to go from the elbow here to this elbow over here. So right elbow to left elbow is about 23 degrees. Now watch as he starts his downswing. Alright, so we get his elbow stays nice and tucked right here. And I'm going to say we're about right there. He's still keeping that right elbow under the left elbow, and you can see these two lines are pretty parallel. A lot of times with amateur golfers, we'll see something like 23, and then the elbows really start to shoot out because this shoulder really tries to work in this direction. But with Tiger, we can see that by making that first move there with that elbow, that also keeps the left arm and the shaft in a pretty darn straight line starting the downswing. So pretty awesome swing dynamics. Watching one of the best players in the world.